Hey everybody, how's everyone doing today? Welcome to Jill's Creative Side. I am Jill. If you're new to the group, welcome, welcome. Also, I just want to say if you're watching this on YouTube and you're curious about my Facebook group or the giveaway that I'm going to be talking about, you need to be in Jill's Creative Side Facebook group to get in on that giveaway. So if you're catching this on YouTube, look for Jill's Creative Side on Facebook and join that group so you can get in on the giveaways. Now the giveaways I do once a month, and I just put various things in a box. Some of the things are crafts that I've made. Some of them are materials to make your own craft, just odds and end things that I pick up during the month and I put in that box to give to somebody just because I love crafting. I love coming on here and showing you jewelry. I like to show you all the fun things that I like to make. So I like to give back to you guys. And so, sorry, I got a message and it's just like, sorry, I got sidetracked on a message. I should not even look at the messages. Anyway, so join my Jill's Creative Side on Facebook so you can get in on those giveaways. I do them monthly. Today is the last day to get in on the March giveaway. Now, I am going to count February in because I didn't do one in February because it was just a crazy month. So the way you get entered into the giveaways is number one, you comment on the lives, and these lives are posted on YouTube. So if you're catching this on YouTube, you need to come join my group on Facebook. And then subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jill's Creative Side. Follow me on Instagram, Jill Yvonne Photo. Post a picture of a craft that you're working on. And those are the ways that get you in on the giveaway. So now that we have all that out of the way, I have some super fun things to show you that I found out. New ways to make earrings. And y'all, it blew my mind. Some of you may already even know how to do it, but it was new to me. So I was like, I've got to go live and show y'all how to do this. So it's super cool. But first, I want to show you what I worked on last weekend because Easter is coming up quick. And I made some faux leather bunny earrings and some spring earrings, and they turned out so cute. So I wanted to show you a few of those. This is the purple faux leather bunny earring, and it has a black faux leather on the back. So look how cute that is. I was having so much fun making these earrings, you guys. Look at the little bunny with the heart as the little tail. I thought that was so cute. And then he has the black background. I always finish the front and the back. I don't like to have an unfinished side. But check out the little cheetah bunnies, you guys. How stinking cute are those? And they're like the faux fur or hair, calf hair, whatever. And then it has the black leather on the back, or faux leather. Anyway, I just cut these on my Cricut and made these. So that was super fun. I really enjoy making stuff like that. So let me show you what I have discovered that you can do with, I know I did a video on the scrapbook paper and the wood, blank wood earring pieces, okay? So it's gonna go back to something like that. I am gonna do a couple of those today, but I wanted to show you that you can use Cricut Infusible ink on these wood blanks. Y'all, that's a game changer. And I had to try it before I did one live with you guys to make sure that I didn't like catch something on fire or something. So I bought these wood blanks from Amazon, and they've got tons of them on there. I think you can get these at Michael's and Hobby Lobby, but I'm not real sure. They're probably cheaper on Amazon, but they already have the hole drilled in there and all that good stuff, and it's like finished on the edge. So you can put the Cricut Infusible ink on there. Now, I had a whole bunch of Infusible ink. That's why I was excited about it, because I bought a bunch of it up. But the bad thing about the Infusible ink, putting it on shirts, is it has to be on a high content polyester shirt. And sometimes that's just not doable. And I was finding, of course, I found out about the Icon Art stencil kit, and I bought that, and I'm hooked on that, and that's how I made the cute little bunny shirt. And And that's like screen print, so it's not going to come off. It's just as good as the Infusible ink. The Infusible ink is nice on a shirt. You have to cut it on the Cricut though, and sometimes intricate, like I probably couldn't cut that on the Cricut without it ripping it up. So let me show you some that I did already. Look, I haven't finished them yet because I also wanted to test these on, I used, I can't even think. What did I use on this? Oh, I used the triple thick Brilliant Brush On Gloss Glaze to cover these. So that's what's on there, and it has a little bit of shine to it. And I did both sides. So that's the cheetah, and then these are like the zebra print, and these are the Infusible ink. So it's like in the wood. You can't feel it or anything. And so I did that. I did the smaller ones, and I did, my favorite is like the mermaid gills or fish gills, and that's what's in here. We're going to do that today. But look how cute that is. And I mean, it's amazing that this works on wood. I was so excited. So I did this one to layer it. So once I get it put together, I'll post pictures in the group, but that's what it would look like once I get it finished. But it's so cool. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you can do this. So this is another one with the pink and the blue, and I just did the backs too. I always like to finish the front and the back. I did the smaller ones to layer on the bigger ones. And then I did some circles in the striped, and then I did both sides. And then I have the little circles because I'm going to put the big circles and the little circles together. Okay, so those are the ones that I covered with this triple thick glaze. Okay, so it does pretty good. Then I did some, and of course, you know, I wanted to put resin on them. So I did some more, and this one is what it looked like after I got done. This has nothing on it except the Infusible ink, okay? So that's just like a green color. Then I put resin on this side. You guys, look at the shine on that. That is so pretty. So I've got to finish. I'm going to put resin on the back as well, and then I'm going to put the earring hardware on there. But how pretty is that? Then I did some stripes. It kind of looks like an Easter egg to me, but I thought that was so pretty with that resin on there. Oh my goodness gracious. And this is the back that has nothing on there yet. I haven't put resin on it yet, but I always do the back. And then I did, this is the back, or one that's not got resin, and then this side has resin. So look what a difference the resin makes on these. So pretty. And it kind of like, I don't know. Since these are already finished, I don't think I'm going to do anything with the edges because they look really cool with the way that the Infusible ink, sorry, my Cricut's hollering. I had to preheat that. So we're going to do some of these. I want to show you how to do these. I'm not going to resin them. I'm just going to do the Infusible ink on the blanks. Then I took some of the plain wood blanks, and I stained them with wood stain. And I think this is a walnut or chestnut color. I can't remember. But what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to put some of the scrapbook paper on here, like the decoupage. And I've got some really pretty spring paper that came from either Hobby Lobby or Joann's. I'm not sure, but this is going to be so cute on there. And I'm not sure if I'm going to finish the back or leave it because that wood stain is really, really, really pretty on there. So it's got a finished look to it already. So I'm going to do a couple of those with you guys today. Then there's something I'm going to try that I have not tried yet that I'm going to try with you guys. Hopefully I have a Cricut heat press, and then I have another heat press over there that has a handle that pushes down, and I do that. I use that for my shirts to get the pressure on there good. But you can use torch paste on these, and you can use the heat press to get it burned in there. Instead of using the heat gun, because it takes a long time to use a heat gun, you can do that. So I used my Icon Art stencil maker, and I made some stencils that we're gonna try, that I'm gonna put on these earrings, okay? So any of you guys that know me know I'm a big love blue marlin blue marlin fishing. So I made a blue marlin stencil, and I also took this bunny and made a small one to fit on the earring, and we're gonna wood burn these into the earrings. Then we have a little pig, and I'm not sure that that's even gonna come out. I'm gonna try it and see what it looks like. It looks kind of funny on the stencil. And then I have the little bee that says "Be kind," and then the sunflower that has faith on there. So we're gonna wood burn these, and it shouldn't take, I think she said, what the video that I watched, she did increments of 15 seconds. So you heat the heat press up. It takes a little while to heat up. So once I'm done with the Cricut, I'll start getting that heated up, and we'll do the scrapbook while that's heating up. And you have to do it in increments so you don't burn the wood. You just want to stain it with or wood burn the design. You don't want to burn the wood itself. So we're going to do that. So let's get started, because I'm super excited. All right, so the first thing is all right, let's get some of the wood blanks, and I'm using the butcher paper that came with the Infusible ink. It always comes with a few pieces of paper. I'm also going to use butcher paper when I use the heat press for the etching, or the wood burning, I mean. Okay, so I'm just going to lay the butcher paper down here. Let me get my camera so y'all can see what I'm doing. That might help, huh? Okay, so this Infusible ink needs to stay, like, you need to kind of keep it in a dark area. Don't put it like where there's a lot of sunlight. And the Infusible ink is on paper like this, and it looks dull, but when you set this on, when it infuses onto your surface, it is a brighter color. Now, it's not extremely bright on the wood, but it's pretty good. I was impressed, to say the least, with it. And I did not bring my heat tape down here, so we're going to try to do this without using the heat tape. Usually I like to tape it so it doesn't move. And I like to make sure that I get, like, I'm going to do purple, and I'm going to go cut it down this way, because we're going to do the backs as well. So I'm going to cut a strip. And the reason I use heat tape or heat resistant tape is because regular tape will melt on your project, and you don't want that. I may have to run up there. Actually, I may have some down here. Sorry guys, I've had this awful sinus or whatever it is, and between that and the Mucinex, I don't know what makes you feel worse. Okay, well, that wood piece has a cutout of it. I'm not going to use that. And you don't put anything on this. You don't stain them. You don't do anything like that. I'm just going to lay them down here. Actually, I'm going to lay them like this, because I'm going to I want the gills or the design going all the same direction. So I'm going to put it down like this. So you're going to put the paper side down on your surface, and then this side up. And I'm not going to peel off anything on here. I'm just going to lay it right on there. And you put your Cricut heat press on 400 degrees for 60 seconds. And it does put off some fumes, and it does put off a little bit of smoke, but it's okay. Hang on, let me get my tape if I have some down here. Sorry guys. I thought I had everything I needed, but of course I don't. Okay, so I'm gonna wing it. I'm gonna lay it on here, and then I'm gonna put the tad bit more so y'all can see. Okay. I'm going to lay the butcher paper over top of that because you want to make sure you do that because you don't want anything getting on your heat press, and you also want to put something on your pad because you don't want to get anything on that. So I'm just going to lay that down. And I think everything stayed where I had it, so I'm not going to need the tape, hopefully. So this is the Cricut heat press, and I'm just going to lay it on here, and you need to put some pressure on it and don't move it around. So I'm going to hold a little pressure on the heat press, and it counts down to 60 seconds. And like I said, it does put off a little bit of steam or smoke, and it does put off an odor. So you might want to be in a ventilated area when you do this. And it does smoke, and it freaked me out when I first saw the smoke. It still freaks me out some because no one likes to see smoke coming off of a heat press. But it should be okay because I've done it a few times already, and it did okay. So we're going to go with it and see. So I was so excited when I found out you could use the Infusible ink because I have quite a bit of it, and I didn't really want to waste it on anything. And this is a game changer because I love making earrings, and I post them in my boutique online on Facebook. It's very small. If you all know me, you know that it's just getting started. I do shirts and jewelry. Okay, so you need to be careful because it's hot. And sometimes I use my little weeder to move it just because I don't want to get burned. And so there we go. It's done. And there we go. How cool is that, you guys? So there is the front of that one. It is so cool. Like I said, it blew my mind when I found out that you could do this. So there's that one. And then here's this one. So now I'm going to flip them over, and I'm going to move. I don't want to use, let's see, that's the side that was down. I don't want to use this where it's going to get on my heat press. So I'm going to flip it over. And hopefully that's not going to get on my mat. I'm going to put another one under there, just to make sure. I don't want to use it all up because I need to use the two pieces that I have for my, oh, I think it's going to be okay, for my other heat press. So we're going to do the back, and we're going to do it the same way. So I'm going to take these pieces, and I'm going to turn them over, and we're going to do it the same way. Now the back is going to be a different color because of the way the design runs on the paper. So I'm just going to use, I think I'll use the purple part. And I want to make sure I have the design going the same way on both sides. So, and this stuff is kind of hard, but it's so easy on these earrings. I was just like shocked how easy it was. So, all right, now I'm just gonna, all right, I gotta make sure I have my scales going the right way. All right, so I'm gonna do the same thing. And I'm gonna put something over that. I don't want to get that on my heat press. And so I'm going to lay this down on it. Hopefully it's not going to move. Usually I would tape it, but since I left my tape upstairs, let me cut the ends. And I need to get some beads to do put a little bit of embellishments on these earrings as well. And I need to make a run to Hobby Lobby Saturday because I have to get some ribbon. I don't know if you guys have had a hard time finding ribbon, but I don't know if it's the supply chain thing going on with that too or what, but nobody in Roanoke had it. So, all right, so I'm just going to put this down, hit the 60 seconds and then just put some pressure on it. I'm not like putting a whole lot of pressure, but enough to push down on it. And let it count down. It is going to smoke a little, like I said, and it does put off a little bit of an odor, but it's okay. And it's just amazing that, I mean, I can't wait to get some hooks on these. These are so cute. And I really want to make another pair and put resin on it, because I am loving how that resin turned out. I mean, that resin, it is a game changer. It just makes everything look so much, I don't know. I like the green. It just makes it so pretty and shiny. Like the back's kind of dull and the resin part is just really, really pretty. But that takes 24 hours to dry. Sometimes a little bit longer because of the temperature of the room and all that other stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna turn that off. Remove the paper. It's just so cool how it turns out. I love it. It's amazing that you can do that. So there's the other side. So we've got the pink side, pinkish purple, and then we've got kind of bluish pink on that side. How cool is that? And that's in the wood. It infuses the ink into the wood, and I am just loving that you can use this on wood. I don't know why I did not find this out sooner, but so this is what it looks like. Loving it, loving it, loving it. That one looks funny. I don't know what's going on with that one. Maybe I had it on the, I'm not sure what, if it's the wood. It looks like it has a wrinkle in there, but it doesn't feel like it. Kind of weird. Maybe the paper moved, but that's that side. So those are the, how you do the infusible ink on the wood pieces. So I'm gonna bring you back up for a minute. Okay, now let me plug in my other heat press real fast, and then we will work on these other earrings until that's heated up, and then we will do the wood burn. I'm excited to try that. All right, bear with me, you guys. I'm just plugging in my other heat press because it takes a little bit to heat up. All right, let me get this bad boy turned on. And temperature to 400. So it's 400 degrees, and then you want to do 15-second increments. Now you probably could use the Cricut heat press. You probably could use the Cricut heat press, but it has to, you have to have a lot of pressure when you're doing the wood burning. So that's why we're going to use the other heat press, and I don't have a way to really get that on camera because it's kind of big and it has an arm and it pushes down, and that's what I use for my shirts. Okay, so let's work on these while that's heating up. And then, so these are stained in wood stain. I used Minwax walnut, dark walnut, and there was I think a golden chestnut. The dark, I think this was the dark walnut. Lord, I don't even know now. I done got it mixed up. All right. I think I don't know. This one I think is the dark walnut. I'm not, yeah, because it's quite a bit darker. And I think I broke this one. Yeah. So we won't do those. But these are just stained with regular wood stain that I use on my wood rounds that I make. And it just gives it a nice finished look. So I'm not sure whether I'll do anything on the backs of them or not. But I will do the scrapbook paper on the front. And I have lots of spring paper that is going to be really pretty. So let me just pick out some. Let me get me a little mat so I can put these on it. All right, so let's see what looks fun. Oh, I love the lemons. All right, so I'm going to do the lemons on that. And I did have a couple people ask about the weight of the paper I was using. This is, it doesn't really give a weight, I don't think. It doesn't give the weight of the paper, but it is thicker cardstock. I mean, it's pretty thick, but you can even use tissue paper. Actually, I have bunny tissue paper. We might have to try that. Just saying. All right, so let's do a couple lemon, just because it makes me happy. And I believe these two are pretty fair. All right, so I'm going to put it on these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out with the piece on there. And it doesn't matter if you don't get it exactly trimmed up right, because sandpaper will take it right off. And I'll show you that. And you can also paint the edges. I'm not going to on these because of the stain the edges, and it looks really, really pretty like that. So I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to use Mod Podge to put them on here. And I'm not sure if, most likely I'm going to resin these because I'm really liking the way the resin looks. So I'm not going to put anything over it once I'm done. Or like on the top. I'm just going to put them on with Mod Podge, and then the resin's going to really make it stick to the wood. It's not going to come off of there with resin on it. I mean, it seals it. So here's what we have. This is going to be really cute. I've got to get some like yellow beads or something. And you know, I think it would even be really pretty if you had like the paper not all the way to the edge, kind of showing the wood a little bit. I don't know. I'll have to see how I like it. And I am going to try that tissue paper but I don't know how well it's going to look with the dark wood stain, but we'll see. I love the lemons. It looks like the sun and the blue skies finally showed up. It's been raining and windy all day today. Gloomy, gloomy, gloomy. But tomorrow's Friday, so that's a great thing. We love the weekends. I do hear the wind whipping though. Okay, so I have these cut out pretty good. I'm going to trim that up just a tad. So I'm just cutting around it. And then I'm going to put it on there with Mod Podge. Okay, so I've got those two. I'm going to go ahead and put these on there. And all you do on that is you get a brush. And I like to use like a softer brush because it doesn't leave lines. A lot of lines. So I'm just using one of these brushes to put it on with. I'm trying to see if I have a smaller brush over here. And I don't. Yes, I do. This one's got green stain on it, but it will be fine. So I'm going to use this brush and some Mod Podge, and I did not bring my little thing to hold it, so I'm going to use these to hold it with. And all I'm going to do is put the Mod Podge on the wood, and then I'm going to put this on the wood. Then I'll poke my hole through, and then I will I'm not sure if what I'm gonna do on the back yet. But I definitely want to do one of those bunnies because I'm liking those bunnies. They're really cute. Okay, can't get this lid. All right. So I'm pretty much just going to, let me pour a little bit of that in here. I don't want to waste any. And it doesn't take very much. And this is just regular, this is gloss, and it's just because it's what I had on hand. And I've had it forever, but it's just gloss Mod Podge. And it's kind of like glue in a way. It dries clear though. And you can put this over the top of the earring after you get the paper on there if you want to seal it that way. Or you can use resin, or you can use whatever you want. So I'm just going to, I don't know if y'all can see this or not. So I'm going to put a little bit on the wood piece. Let me get my little handy dandy thing to hold it. So I'm just going to paint it on here. And you don't need to like soak it, but you need to get it enough on there that the paper is going to stick to it. And I like to clean up the edges. I don't like to have a lot of goop on the edges. And you want to get where the hole is. And if you get it on your hands, it's okay because it's not, it comes right off. And so I'm just going to go around the edge and make sure there's not any on the edges, like a gob of it. And like I said, it does dry clear. So I just have the Mod Podge on that. And I'm just going to put the paper right over it. And I'm going to try not to get any Mod Podge on the top of it, because if you put resin on it and you have Mod Podge on your hand and you wipe it, it's going to leave a mark, or it's going to leave a spot, and the resin picks right up on it. So I'm just taking a paper towel and pushing down on it, rubbing over it to get out any bubbles or wrinkles. And I have baby wipes that I bought at Sam's. I always have those down here with me. That way you can always wipe your hands off if you need to. So there is this one. How cute is that with the lemons? I love it. So I'm going to make sure I have the lemons going the same way on this one. Well, they are all different ways. All right, so let me paint this one, or put the Mod Podge on this one. And I just hold it with a little tool. And I'm just painting it on here. And this is not going to take long, you guys, because as soon as that other heat press gets up to the right temperature, we'll be good to go. This won't be a really long live. But remember, if you're watching it on Facebook, that you comment on the live so you get entered in for the drawing. And if you're watching this on YouTube, come and join my group on Facebook, Jill's Creative Side. So I'm just going to put the paper on the wood, get it lined up. And you have some time with Mod Podge. It doesn't dry real fast. So I'm going to push it down with a paper towel because I don't want to get any Mod Podge on the paper itself. And I will post these earrings in the group once I'm done. Let me see. It's almost heated up over there. That heat press is really nice doing shirts. I love it, love it, love it. So here's this one. Really cute. Now I want to do the little bunnies real fast. So I just poked the hole with this tool. That's what I did with that. So I'm not going to put anything over the top of it. Normally you seal it with something over the top, but since I'm going to resin it, the resin is going to seal it. Because I think the resin is going to bring those lemons out. It's going to be super cute. Now you do the same thing when you're using a tissue, a napkin. You can use tissue paper, you can use pretty much anything. You can also, with a napkin or tissue paper, or I know a napkin, you can burn the edges off with a lighter. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just trim them off if I can get. The hardest part about using these tissues is pulling them apart, because you need to pull off the back layer, because there's a back layer, and sometimes it's really, really hard to get it to pull off, to separate. That's the hardest part of doing this, believe it or not. So I'm just going to try to get them pulled apart. Sometimes you have to rip it to get it started. That is tricky to get them pulled apart. Sometimes wetting your fingers works, sometimes it don't. But that's the hardest part of this whole thing. I may have to do this later. I don't want to keep you guys on here. All right, I'm going to do that later. What I'm going to do right now, because I think my heat press is heated up. So let's do the wood burning, and then we'll come back to this napkin. That's going to drive me nuts, not being able to get it. I'm going to cut all my fingernails off because they're breaking and it's dry and all that stuff. Oh my goodness gracious alive. I know nowadays you're not supposed to lick your fingers, but I just washed my hands, so it's okay. I've not been out in public anywhere. Oh my gosh. You know, I'm not even going to do that right now. All right. So here are the stencils that I made. And I'm going to cut them apart because I'm going to use each one on a different, earring. And these were made on my Icon Art stencil kit. And if you're interested in that, I can drop a link below. It has been a game changer for my crafting, being able to make my own stencils. It's amazing. And I'm just going to tell y'all, their support is like none I've ever seen in my entire life. It's insane. So what I'm going to do on each one is I'm going to write back on there so I know, or I'm going to write what it is, so I know which stencil, to put the backing back on the stencil correctly, because you want to put it on there the right way, or you can mess up your stencil. And I just clip a little corner so I know that I'm putting it on there correctly. That's all I'm doing. And then I'm just writing on the back what it is. The bunny one is just my favorite. Now, I have not done this one, the wood burning on the earrings, yet. So you're going to be doing it with me live. So hopefully it's going to work out. But I've learned all kinds of things here lately. Okay, so you want to use a wood blank that does not have anything on it. You don't want it to have stain or any kind of chemical on it, because that could be bad. You really don't want to do that. It needs to be a plain piece of wood with no stain or anything, because that's just not what you want. All right, so we're going to do the marlin first because it's my favorite. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it off the backing, and these are mesh reusable stencils, and I made these on my Icon Art system. I got the designs and I printed them out of Silhouette Studio. I don't have a Silhouette, but you can use their program to print, because you can't print from Cricut, and I have all these designs in Cricut. So it's reusable mesh stencil. It's got a sticky side to it, and once you wash it, you can reuse it bunches of times. It's amazing. And you always want to make sure you put it, I have like a tub of water over here that I'm going to put it in, because you want to wash it out as soon as you can. And since I'm doing a live and showing you how to do all these, I won't have time to go wash it. I'm not going to go wash it while you're on here. And so they'll be in the water, so it won't dry on there. So here's the stencil. Now I'm just going to place it on the wood piece where I want it. And then I'm going to just rub it down to make sure it's down really good on the wood. This is what that looks like. Okay. And then I'm going to take this torch paste, and this came from, I bought this from the Icon Art website. This little jar is like $17 or $18, and I know that sounds like a lot, but you use such a tiny amount of this, it will last a long time. And I will put the link below in the comments, so you can, if you're interested. So all I'm going to do is, this is what it looks like. And so I'm just going to get a little bit on the, let me put it, I'm just going to put a little bit on the little squeegee thing. That's all I'm using, is that right there. And then I'm just going to, let me put this down some so y'all can see better. So I'm just going to go over where the stencil is with the torch paste. And then I need to make sure that I get all of the design. And you don't need a lot. And it looks like there's really not much on there, and that's basically what you want. You don't really want a lot. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So now that that one is done, I'm going to peel it up, and you can see where the torch paste is. Okay, so I'm going to set that right there, and I'm going to do another one because we want a pair of earrings. And I should have made 2 stencils, one to go one way and one to go the other, but I just now thought of that. Oh well. So I'm going to push it down with this, with the little squeegee. And I'm going to put a little bit more on here. You really don't need much at all. And then I'm going to go over this one. This is so cool, y'all. I did a wood round with this for my nephew, and it turned out so good. He loved it. I love this stuff. But now with a wood round, I will use the heat gun, and that takes a little bit. So I'm just going to pull it off. And you can see where the etch cream, or not the etch cream, torch paste is. So now I'm going to put this one in my little tub of water so that it doesn't dry with that torch paste on there. Now I'm going to do the bunny. This is so easy. So you want to let the torch paste sit for a minute or two before you put heat on it. And the heat press is ready. And what I'm going to do at first is I'm going to sit the wood pieces on the heat press, and I'm going to lower the lid, but I'm not going to shut it. And that's going to dry that, because you don't want the torch paste getting on your heat press on the top of it. So that's what I'm going to do with that. And then I'm going to put butcher paper over it, and then I'm going to clamp it for 15 seconds. Then I'm going to check it, and then I'm going to do it again, and until I get the desired look. I don't know what it is with me and trying to get stuff separated. today. Goodness gracious. This usually just comes right off. Here we go. And when you wash these, you put them back on their backing while they're still wet to let them dry. So now I'm going to put the little bunny, I'm going to place him right on here where I want him. This is going to be super cute. Well, the blue stencils don't stick real sticky. The purple ones are real sticky. But I don't need them extremely sticky. So now I'm just going to take some torch paste, put on there just like the other one. And I'll be able to do all of these at the same time in the heat press. That is the amazing thing, is you don't have to, like with the heat gun, you would have to do one at a time. And that would take forever if you're doing earrings. And it is orange looking, so you can see where you put it. So I'm just going to lay the stencil back down on another one. Try to get him centered up. The little bunny is just so cute. And I'm going to do the same thing with him. And I'm going to just go, you don't want to use a whole lot of etch cream or torch paste. I don't know why I keep calling it etch cream. Oh, these are just adorable. All right, I'm going to put that one in the water, and then I'm going to let this up. I got a little bit on my mat. Now I'm going to we're going to do, oh, you know what? I just thought of something. These napkins are driving me crazy. Okay, we're not going to fool with that. All right, so now I'm going to do the little sunflower that says faith on the next two. I can't wait to see how these turn out. I hope they turn out. You never know, since I've not done this before on earrings. So I'm just pushing the stencil down on the piece of wood, putting a little bit of etch cream on there, and then we're just going to go over it. And like I said, you don't need a whole lot. You really don't want to use a whole lot. They recommend that you don't. I may not have gotten enough on that one. It looks like I missed a leaf, but we'll see. That might give it some character. I'm just trying to get it pushed down. All right, now. See how quick this is? Yeah, I did the same thing on that one. So there's that. Then we'll do the bee. I'm not going to do the pig because I'm not sure how. Well, I'll go ahead since I'm going to put them under there. I'm not sure how that's going to turn out. But we're going to do it anyways. So we're going to do the bee one next. And like I said, I'm just putting my stencils in a bath of water over here to the side until I can rinse them out. But you definitely don't want your stencils to dry with any kind of paint or any kind of torch paste on them. I've got this. Making a mess. All right, let's see if I got this one on there. Good. You can lay them back down if you miss a spot. This one, that is so cute. And that says kind. Be kind. So cute, you guys. Oh my goodness. And I bet you it would be really pretty if you put resin over the wood burn. I think that resin really brings out everything. Just gives it that really pretty look. There's this one. One more, and then we're gonna stick them under the heat press and see what happens. This is a pig. My brother's girlfriend has 2 pigs, and they are adorable. So that's what made me want to do the pig. But it looks like the face, I don't know, it just looks funny on the stencil. Because it's more like a silhouette kind of image. We'll see what it turns out like. No, I got too much on that. I'm not sure if I got enough. Oh yeah. Well, I think that might turn out pretty cute actually. The stencil just looked kind of weird. I'm just going to push it down, and then I'll get some torch paste. This stuff's wild how it works with heat instead of having to actually torch it. I don't know who all on here watches Ozark, but season 4 was on Netflix. We found it last night. Now, we might be late to the party, but I just found it last night, so we love that show. There's that. All right, so now I'm going to put my torch paste up and my little squeegee in the water. And we're going to stick these under there for 15 seconds to dry them a little bit. And then I'll put butcher paper on top, and then we'll start putting the heat on them. So give me 1 second while I'm over here. This won't take long at all, but we just want to make sure that they're dry so that they don't stick to the paper. And we definitely don't want to get it on the heat press. So we've made 3 different kinds of earrings today. How cool is that? All right. This has a timer, but it's not going to go until I'm going to have to count. All right. So I'm just going to hold the thing down. Oh, it is going. I'm going to hold it down for 15 seconds, and then I'm going to put the butcher paper over, and then I'll clamp it down. Okay. And they haven't changed any at all. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some butcher paper and let me put this up so you're not facing the table. All right, so now I'm going to put this butcher paper over top of the earrings and then clamp it for 15 seconds, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Here we go. Wish me luck, y'all. Wish me luck. Oh my gosh. First time doing it. It's making me nervous. Hopefully it's going to work, you guys. Hopefully. Uh-oh. Okay, well, we have an epic fail. It looks like it's stuck to the paper. So I didn't dry it enough. Oh, this one didn't. Yeah, so we had an epic fail. I'm super sad. So it did stick. I guess I did not dry it enough before I put that. You know what? I wonder if I would have put Teflon. Well, that stinks. So I can't show you what it's going to look like unless we do some more. And y'all may not want to. Okay, we might. I don't think I can save any of these because they all got stuck. Okay, so maybe we'll have to revisit this another day. I don't want to keep you guys on here too long. But I think what happened was I did not let it dry enough before I put the paper on it. Maybe that's what we did wrong. So we'll have to try this again. So I'll do some testing on it. That stinks, you guys. I'm going to put this one back under there just to see if I can get it to work. Just to see. I don't have any more. Yeah, I do. I just want to see if I can get this one to darken up. So hang on. We're not done yet. It only had a little tiny piece of paper. Well, that stinks, y'all. I'm so sorry that these didn't turn out, but epic fail. But these would have been so super cute. But we'll definitely do these again because I think that it's definitely gonna work. But I gotta figure out how to keep it from sticking to the paper. And it looked like it smeared it some too when the paper stuck. So let me do it again. I just want to see if it will if it'll darken it like it's supposed to. So we'll just keep trying it until it does. It is working though. It's getting darker. You can see it getting darker. But that's just the way, that's what happens when I don't test it first with you guys. I just did it. I'm only going to do it one more time and then we'll stop. It was so cute. I bought these wooden butterflies at Joann Fabrics. They had them for little or nothing. And I'm going to put this paper, I'm going to decoupage this on the butterfly. And I'm going to make some like little felt flowers and put on here for my niece's bedroom. Yes. All right, let's look at this. Let's see what this one looks like. Okay, it does work, but I've got to try something about getting it a little bit drier before we put the butcher paper on it because it definitely stuck to it. So that's okay. That's how we learn. All right, I'm not done with this napkin here yet. I think I just got it. Yes, look at that. All right, so I'm going to separate it. And that is really a bummer about that. These wooden earrings, because that would have been super cute. But I'm going to try it again. I'm going to try not to keep going on about it. All right, so I want to see about putting these bunnies. All right, so this is what we have. The bunny napkin on... I want to see if a bunny will fit. Oh my goodness, I think that's going to be so adorable. That is going to fit. Okay, I got to try this real quick with you guys because this is going to be super cute. Okay, and let me cut another one of those out. I love the bunnies. I just probably went All right, so we're almost done, and then I'll let you guys go. But epic fail on the wood pieces. I'm sad about that, but we will definitely try that again. So we have the lemons, and I showed you how to use the infusible ink on these, which that's super cool. And this is what they look like when they are resined, super shiny. All right, I'm gonna do these real fast just because they're so cute. And show you guys what this looks like. Hopefully it will look right with the dark behind. Oh, I don't know if it's gonna show up. It's barely showing. Well, it might help if I turn it the right way. Oh my gosh, am I having a day or what? Okay, let's get the decoupage back over here. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm gonna put some Mod Podge, not decoupage, on here. I probably should have put my brush in the water. And you don't really need as much as I have on here with a napkin because it's so thin, they'll tear easy. But hopefully this one won't. And I want to wipe off any excess. And these are wood stained, so like I said, I'm probably not going to paint the edges of it. And I'm going to lay down the little napkin, the bunny. And then I'm going to smooth it out. And these, it's more apt to tear when you use a napkin. I'm not real sure that's going to show up that great because of the dark stain. But we're going to see. I'm going to do it anyways. And then we can just sand off the edges with sandpaper. Comes off really easy with napkins. It doesn't show up a whole lot. Not like I wanted it to. But that's what that looks like with the napkin on there. It's kind of cute. So I'll definitely finish it and see how that turns out. Maybe the resin would help it out. Bring it out a little bit, the bunny. That resin does amazing things to colors. And if you guys are in my jewelry group, tonight is a jewelry drop. Don't forget. And if you want to jump on my order, let me know. All right, let's see. The bunnies are so adorable. All right, so let's cut it around and then we'll be done. And what you can do is just take like a little piece of sandpaper. Or I actually even use nail files sometimes. So that's what it looks like on there. And then you can take like a nail file and file the edges off. It's really easy with a napkin. It comes right off. Hopefully it's not gonna mess it up since I'm not waiting for it to dry. This actually might turn out better than I thought. I'm always looking at napkins when I go anywhere. If they got pretty napkins and I think I can make something with them, then I'm all about it. I found some really cool napkins when we were in Pirates Cove last November in this gift shop. So yeah, I think that the resin would bring out the bunny on this actually. So there we go. A perfect little bunny earring. Maybe I should just quit for the day. So there's that. Okay, so we made lemon earrings that I'm going to resin with scrapbook paper and wood stained pieces. And then we put infusible ink on the wood, which is awesome. And I showed you the resin on there, what that looks like. And then we did the epic fail wood burn. And then we did the napkin. So we made quite a few things today in a little bit of time. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure if you are on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram. I mainly post, well, I post just about everything over there. So it's Jilly Von Photo. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notifications bell so you get notified every time I post a video, because I usually download all my videos on here to YouTube. So if you're on YouTube watching this and you're not in Jill's Creative Side on Facebook, come and join the group so you can get in on the giveaways. So today's the last day, so make sure you comment on the live so you get entered into the drawing for a box of goodies that I put together for you guys. And that's all I have for you guys today. I hope that you enjoyed this, and this weekend I'll be doing something else. Maybe we'll redo these this weekend. We'll see how it goes. So you guys have a great rest of your day. Have a good rest of your week. Tomorrow's Friday. It's the weekend. Yay. And if you're in my Jill's Plunder group, don't forget, tonight is the jewelry drop. It's the last day of the month to get the Plunder posse and the backpack if you want to sign up. So that's all I got. You guys have a great day. Thanks for tuning in, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.